Mentally feel like Kobe, I'm like Jokic with the rock. You physically couldn't hold me, I don't care if you push a 40. You can never little bro me. Euro step like Ginobili, from young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats. Circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's the reach. We ready? Who ready?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the One-on-One Sports Show on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. I am Mr. Bennett, joined by my 7B brother, Trey Ferg. Also joined solo this evening, brother from Dallas, from the Texas area, Dante. Hopefully our brother Shawnee, he'll join us shortly later tonight. But again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. As you see on the bottom of the screen, our cash apps are going. And certainly if you appreciate the content that we're giving you, we'd appreciate anything that you give us. But more importantly than that, we ask that you support the Black Man Unfiltered Network, where we give you content 7 days out of the week, different shows, different platforms, different discussions that are going on within this space. So we have a fully functioning platform here. And so again, consider dropping super chats into this space to support the network, help us grow, and help us just be able to bring you more substantive content. But ladies and gentlemen, it's training camp. It's football season's back, baby. So here we are, the first day. Guys are reporting today, the training camp this week. And we're just excited to get this thing going. But I just want to get the temperature of the room before we get into this, though. Dante, how you feeling, man? I mean, Dallas, I don't know what you guys are doing, but y'all got everything but football is going on with you guys right now, man. But how you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. Personally, I'm good. As far as football, I'm happy for it to be back, because I think once it gets monotonous after about a week or two of camp, we'll get past the contract stuff, and it'll be like, hey, this player looks like this player looks like that. But nonetheless, I'm excited to see what's going to happen, and just for football to be back. I mean, colleges, they're getting ready to report. I mean, they just had the SEC media days, so it's just like you can start planning out your fall and get all that stuff ready. So I'm excited. Right.
Trey Ferg, how you doing, my brother?
What's up, man? How you doing, man?
Doing well. Hey, looking forward to again. We also got the Olympic Games starts on Friday, so we got opening ceremonies coming up. We got to talk about USA men's basketball. Yeah. We'll be bringing that up later in the show, but we got to start with the NFL. So again, going into this, certainly there's a lot of controversy going on right now. So again, let's start with your boys in Dallas. CeeDee Lamb.
We can't start with Dallas, man.
Oh, you want to say the best? We can go around. We can go. I'll leave. We got the resident Cowboy fan, so I'll patronize you tonight. So Dante, where you want to go with this?
But we can go wherever, because I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of stories going on with some teams and some players.
Indeed.
Like what they're gonna do. Indeed, and there's a lot. There's so much.
Okay, so we'll come back. Plus, that'll also give Shawnee a chance to jump on board. Also, again, hopefully he'll get a chance to join us also. So
I found out an interesting story today with
what you got, brother?
Jordan Love.
He's right on my first agenda here. So again, I was talking up Love all last year. Even the Packers fans didn't want to believe me. I told you had your guy, and now he's starting to believe it. Now he's flexing. He's slated to make $10.5 million. Look at that. See, spoken word right there. I spoke it into existence, and my man showed up. Praise God. So again, my man, $10.5 million expected to get this year, but based on the market, he's looking to get over $50 million. My man's looking to get paid. Again, stats from last year: 4,159 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 64.2% passer rating. I told you the boy looked good. We played him last year. I was telling my guy next to me, who's a Packers fan, had his Aaron Rodgers shirt on. You got your quarterback, but nobody wanted to believe it. He almost pulled off the upset against the San Francisco last year's playoffs. So now he's like, all right, maybe I am the man. So my man is sitting out training camp. So how y'all?
He's sitting in training camp, brother Benny. He's showing up. He's not
I was just reading before he got it. He said he's going to be sitting out until the contract is signed. At least, so unless that just happened in the last 30 minutes.
He was at practice. They calling him a sit-in. They call it,
a sit-in. Okay.
You sit in and
I used to doing the same thing. You show up to camp so they can't find you, but it's like, hey, that's an injury risk. I'm not playing until I get a contract.
But here's the thing you got to understand about Green Bay, fellas. Green Bay is don't have a one owner. It's owned by the city almost. So for them to give him that much money, it's going to be hard. Green Bay's put themselves in a precarious situation because they had no problem giving Aaron Rodgers that little money.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. They never discussed the contract. He never got to the end. Now, Jordan Love is ready to take the next level. And he's all Green Bay got for real. So they need to pay him by the end of the preseason. Just go on, get him in there and get him out the way. He's going to be the highest paid, maybe. He's going to be top 3 and keep it moving.
All right, what you got on that, Dante, on that situation?
I'm with Trey first. Like I said, I have a rooting interest. Obviously, I root for the Cowboys, but I want all of these guys to get paid. They worked their whole lives to get to this point. And as we saw, former Cowboy Michael Gallup retired today or yesterday. NFL, not for long. It is not promised. If you can get to that second contract, you got to get it for all you can because you come out there. We've seen it time and time again. You come out for camp, you're playing, and then just something. You can't even hit the quarterbacks. Somebody accidentally hits something, boom, you break your thumb when you're throwing in.
Right.
Anything can happen. So you gotta secure that bag before you go. It's not a selfish thing if you look at it. For all the fans that critique guys, look at what their teammates say about them. I understand this is a business because it's always a business when the guy gets cut. So it needs to be a business when the guy's like, hey, I'm holding in or I'm holding out so I get the contract. I support him. I understand he spanked my team this January. So, he obviously showed the ability,
beat y'all
to
down.
the 49ers to the end. And so it's like, yeah, he's proven his worth. It's only 1 year of sample size, but it's the best year. And that's the thing. If you don't give a guy an extension, they could have gave him an extension that was small.
They could have.
They could have came out, everything could have been sweet. But they didn't do that. So now he can hold your feet to the fire. You gotta pay him.
Absolutely, and they sat for a long time again. Rodgers, so basically just like they did with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, he sat on the bench all that time, didn't say a word. Then once he got up there and flexed, and he balled out, now he's flexing. So hey, more power to him. Shawnee, what you got on it, man? Jordan Love, I guess in training camp, like I said, I was literally just looking at the article just before he came on the show. So if he's just not an active participant, okay, we'll go with that. We're going with that narrative. Before I go on, hang on. Shout out to Hink in the basement. I asked him about his boy Caleb. He's looking like a player bound QB already. So again, the Green Bay Lions and Bears rivalry is already heating up. Where you're gonna have these quarterbacks. I don't know if I'm sold on Caleb. I heard other news coming out of minicamp and whatnot about he couldn't not about accuracy concerns, but hey. We'll come back and visit that one, but just wanted to give you a shout out. Trey Taylor's also in the building. Shout out to you. Thanks for being here tonight as well. All right, Shawnee, go ahead.
No, and I was about to say, I thought it's early for Love with Green Bay. He done blew out the water. You are talking about Caleb going to the playoffs, so he haven't played a single down yet. So
that's a true Bears fan, though. That's Hank, man. The Bears.
He probably thought Rex Grossman was going to take him to the Super Bowl, so I can't say nothing about him. But with Love and his contract extension that he's seeking, I don't blame him for that. He's trying to cash in while it's hot. Now, on the flip side, he only played a total of 18, 19 games. So you really, as a franchise, I mean, you really going to take a leap to see how he's going to be after this. You really just paying him after this year's at the end of last year in the postseason.
Right.
So if he's going to already go up there and be making near Trevor Lawrence type money, is what he's looking for, what he's holding out for, then yeah, that's a hell of a step. I mean, that's a hell of a step. I mean, I don't blame him for seeking it, but I hope there'll be a little bit more realistic, because I heard y'all was talking about Aaron Rodgers was holding out. Aaron Rodgers already had a resume built up. So he had, hey, look at my resume and all this. That's why he was able to hold out to get his money. Love is off to a nice start. Like, damn, you gotta if you try. I don't know exactly about. I have a feeling he's looking at the Trevor Lawrence type dollars. If he's looking at that, I'm like, you get it. The more power to you.
Well,
We're not even high enough, brother.
let me counter you with this, Johnny. So it's basically the NFL doesn't have what the NBA has, to where after your rookie deal, there's escalators of where you can go. It's like, hey, we keep you low on the rookie level. When you go, the contract that you get is the contract that you can negotiate. So my thing is, I hear what you're saying about, hey, he's done it. He's only done it for one season. So, but you're paying, like, you don't pay guys off of what their past performance is. You're paying them what you project them going to do. Players get contracts all the time where teams get a sweetheart deal for a guy that's young. We're paying them early, and then the contract looks cheap. So it's just like the price is the price for quarterbacks, Johnny. It's never going down. Every day they wait, the price is going up. That, I doubt it, but that can get his deal. Another quarterback can get their deal, and then the price goes up because it's like, hey, I'm comparable to these players, and the quarterback is the guy that, if he put it like this. Say for instance, let's say, hey, you gotta play 10 million. What if he does the game? Nobody's done this in a while. I think Vincent Jackson, may rest in peace. He did it back in the day. He played the minimum amount of games so that he could reach free agency. If Jordan Love were to do that, the Packers would be in position probably to get their next quarterback, because he's going to go ahead and walk out the door. So it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I would say go ahead and pay the guy and get it out the way.
Yeah. If the franchise view you as a future quarterback, then pay him. Don't do what the Cowboys did with Dak. Because they kept trying to make him prove it. And now they're in a situation where, like, damn. Because right now, like I said, the market is high. And if you wait on Love, people complaining about the money now. You could probably add 15 to 20 million if you wait on him, and that's going to be the market. So, if you're going to sign him, if you view him as your franchise quarterback, lock him up. It is a risk though, because you are judging this just on a half a season in playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a small sample period, but if that's who you believe is your guy, because quarterbacks don't grow on trees. That's why I be trying to tell Cowboys fans to get rid of Dak.
Shawnee, Jordan Love right now is where Dak Prescott was when Tony Romo got hurt almost.
His first year.
Yeah, he was there. And then Dak Prescott, he's gotten paid every year. Now, Jordan Love, he's going to play out this year. He's going to play that year out. So if they let him play out, they're going to put themselves in a position really where they can go get somebody. And Jordan Love, he's on the incline. His game is improving because he learned from Aaron Rodgers. So that's a good thing. He learned from one of the best in the game at the time. And I think, and they've said it today earlier on SportsCenter, he could probably one of the top two play, him and Patrick Mahomes. He ain't gonna get Patrick Mahomes type money, but he gonna get Trevor Lawrence and all that.
He's gonna get paid, and he
gonna be one or two, because everybody else is fine.
Right. So now, I know we asked this question. I don't know. We might have talked about this last week, but who do you think has a better upside? Is it going to be Love or CJ?
Because now you're looking at you. I'm gonna have to go with CJ because he did it for the majority of the season.
That's too soon.
He did it for the majority of the season. That's all I really have. I mean, and
I'm just saying, who you think has the best? So you think still CJ has the better upside? So break up like this year. Who you think is going to outperform CJ or Love?
I say right now CJ because the Texans. Just think about the year the Texans had the year before. It was at the bottom of the basement.
Yeah,
people just wasn't giving them no shot, and he came and literally. Nobody really knew. Unless he was just a Houston fan, nobody knew Nico Collins and their just assortment of players on there, the skilled players. Then Stroud came up there. When he came in the training camp, he was throwing picks left and right, so people thought he was going to be a bust that early. Then next thing you know, regular season came and he just took off. Jordan Love had he had kind of like a warm up kind of say. He was kind of level. And then all of a sudden, he took off at the right time of the season, towards the middle and the end of the season. Stroud was already kind of up there. So I just say Stroud, both quarterbacks well, Houston could take advantage of it because Stroud was truly a rookie. Love was last year was his 3rd year in the league.
Yeah, but Sonny, think about it.
Well, I'm just saying
No,
the Texans could take advantage of Stroud's rookie contract while Love was already like in his 3rd year, so his rookie contract, is about to be over. So that's why they got to pay him like what they're looking for.
Yeah, but the difference between Stroud's situation and Love came after a legend. It's hard to follow. Stroud, nobody in sports even had them in a conversation as a playoff. And the show that they showed, they're going to be a great team overall because they coach. I think he's going to be one of the best coaches in the league over the next 5 years. I can see them getting a championship within 5 years if they continue to add, because they made some good draft picks this year.
Yeah, they made some changes.
I can see that. Love, I watched him the second half of the season, how he was able to throw the ball, sit in that pocket. If he can do that, then I think he's going to be throwing. He probably throw 35 touchdowns again this year. If he can do that,
the receiver core, people never really gave him a shot. Both teams, and both QBs they did what you want a quarterback to do.
Yes,
they brought their receiving core up. They propped them up. So both QBs do that. So with those two, I mean, it's just Houston has the advantage because Stroud did that from year 1. So they could say, okay, you can just sit on your rookie contract for a while. And Green Bay, they looked at it like, okay, this is our franchise dude right now. And I see a comment, Trey was saying like, he said let him walk.
He don't like anybody. He said Dak had the biggest heist in history. Aaron Rodgers is overrated, so he's throwing smoke at all these guys.
Everybody.
He coming out. He started football season.
Caleb can't throw it in the ocean.
Oh, he like Bengals. He like Joe. He like. He's
a Washington fan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's the team from Washington.
He hasn't seen good football in years. And, I feel bad for his
Marion Barry was mayor.
Oh man, he should have made it very big. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to see what that guy does, what Daniels does. Just because you got Dan Quinn, you're excited. Well, let's be honest.
Who's the offensive coordinator?
Huh?
Who's the Commanders' offensive coordinator?
I don't know who their coordinator is. I haven't looked that up. I know
a big thing.
With Quinn being there, he's literally the second tier guy because they wanted the coordinator. They wanted was Slovik, the coordinator from the Texans. They wanted him, and they were waiting for him. And
leave him alone.
And then they left him alone. Couldn't get him, and then they pivoted to get Dan Quinn, which I don't think is a problem.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff. That's right.
But that leads to a follow-up question. What the hell happened to Bieniemy? He was supposed to be there with that 1 year, and they got rid of him already.
In the coaching game, if you keep getting passed over, or if it's not that time, it's not gonna, especially for black coordinators and coaches, it's just not going to happen. And at this point, it's just like I think he should at least have gotten a shot. There's $32. I think he should have got one, but at this point, it's just not going to happen, and it sucks.
Yeah, he may have to go back down to the college ranks or something. Yeah, so I don't know if the NFL,
in the league too.
They crown out the room
in the league too. I'm telling you, he's one of the best offensive. He's one of the best offensive coordinators in the league.
I mean,
he just don't get his credit, man. Come on, let's do it. Let's just be real. He just don't get his credit. He's one of the few brothers that can call them fucking plays, and he just don't get his credit. He don't.
Well, because right now, the Commanders, they have a new ownership in there, so
yeah, they're gonna move in. They want right people.
Slate.
And that's typical with a brother.
We're not talking about specifically for Washington. I'm talking about the whole league overall. I'm not. I know once a new regime comes in, the head coach and the coordinators, it's best to clear house. I mean, you can keep you guys like the strength and conditioning coach, things that people don't see that are within the program or the fabric or like a DB's coach or something like that. You can keep that, but I'm more so upset that he didn't get a job. But I go on a million interviews, and then it turns into the issue about, I got the interview because of the Rooney Rule. But see, y'all need to open that can of worms, and I'm in a good mood.
And then they go get Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, and then now you're gonna now you open up that debate again. Now we had again a couple years ago we had Brady and Belichick, right? Now you're talking about Bieniemy, but he's got arguably, in fact, we're going to talk about this later on. Top 25 players over the last 25 years. Mahomes is like ranked third in the last 25 years as the best ever. So again, is it the OC or is it do you got the guy who got 3 Super Bowls in 5 years? So I mean, that's the conversation.
It's a marriage. It's always going to be a marriage between those.
That's the combo. Absolutely.
Because his head coach is basically like an OC for the most part. So they could stay doing what they always do, but it's always a marriage between the OC and the quarterback.
Right. We have another quarterback again in camp, but again keeping light activity. Again, Tua is looking for a new contract. Now again, he had a decent season, 4,624 yards, 24 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, highly ranked offense, a lot of tools on offense. But again, a couple years ago, we thought the dude was about to retire. So, do you invest in Tua, keep that continuity? And as a side story, Tyreek Hill is also looking for a contract, but he does not want to be traded. So in fact, the article, according to the article, he had kind of a public sort of thing with his agent Drew Rosenhaus. Said, last time you messed around, you got me traded out of Buffalo to Miami. Now, I don't want to leave Miami. So do what you got to do to get me a contract, but don't get me traded out of here. So again, good situation there. Do you go all in on Tua, or are you looking for your next guy?
Make him prove it. Like with Tua, is there's health concerns. So it's one thing if it's like, well, honestly, we need to have that conversation. Hey, Trey, we need to have that conversation about the quarterback you just mentioned, Joe Burrow. I don't know what it is because it's a great story, but we need to mention him in that injury-prone category, similar to how we do with Tua, because he's really great, and he's a guy that people feel that he's on the Mahomes tier. I think that's crazy. I think he has to do more, which that guy's done so much. He's in the league in a class by itself. But Tua, are you going to be consistently a guy that's like, hey, you're missing games and this is head injuries? It's not just an ankle or a knee, But if hips and head injuries, those are things that are, and backs, those are things that are really difficult to deal with. So they have to make that decision. I would keep my cap flexibility. Like you said, you got the 2 receivers, the dynamic receivers. I think Waddle got an extension. You're trying to get Hill another extension. You added a tight end. You got the running backs. You put resources into the line. That's a team that's built for to play it out and then give him his golden ticket. Okay, if we don't want to do it, then let another team pay you, and then we'll take our cap space. We'll take our draft picks. We'll go get our next quarterback. That's what I would do. Just I like Tua, but it's just like I don't love him. So.
I hear you. All right, so we got some other moves, and also again, the link has been dropped in the chat. So if someone wants to join up and join us for this sports convo on this first day of training camp, certainly you guys are free to do so. But moving on, again, we got some wide receivers. We just talked about we talked about Tyreek's situation, but then we also have again CeeDee Lamb with the Cowboys. Now for one thing, he's definitely sitting out. So he's not reporting. He's not doing anything until he get his money. Certainly, he's due to make $17 million this year. But again, with the market being set, he's looking at around $34 million. With Jefferson getting that kind of money. So again, what's going on? Also considering that you guys still need to re-sign Dak Prescott. So I don't know what you're going to do there. So those are 2 very high-priced, big-ticket items that you have to contend with. So I'll leave it to the resident Cowboy expert, Dante. So how are you looking at that situation? How do you think this thing's going to turn out?
From the whispers I've heard, you can bank on CD getting a contract. I would say sometimes the Cowboys like to do, they like to wait and waste their time. But training camp is a place where they normally get deals done. Like last year, Zach Martin held out and got paid. I think Lamb's trajectory is going up. I think he's going to get paid. I heard it has to be around $34 million. I think they leaked it out there from his agent. You're not going to get Jefferson money because you understand that he's at the top. So you're not going to get that. But if you can get, basically, he has to get more than AJ Brown. He's proven that he's a better player than him. But right now, he just wants that 34 million is around where it starts, and I can fully expect that deal, depending on how hard they negotiate. But I do think he will buy game one, have the contract. I don't know how much training camp he will do or play in, but he will. I think he will get the deal from everything I've heard.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Now we also have again Brandon Ayuk. He reported, so I know Trey Taylor has got his eyes set on him going to the team in Washington, to the Commanders, but the man did show up to camp. So are you more optimistic of him coming, or less optimistic about him coming to your Commanders after that? What say you on that? Again, the link has been dropped if someone wants to come up and join the show. I know Hank was here earlier. We'd love to chop it up on his boy Caleb and what he's seeing, certainly with the Bears news. Love to get feedback on that situation. But certainly, what do you guys think of that? And there's one other guy, T. Higgins. Now, again, I wouldn't call him on the top elite, but again, it's hard to teach 6'4" and 220, right? A competent wide receiver, 25 years old. He's going into the last year of his contract, so he could be a very nice addition to a team, if not this year, unless they trade for him this year, or certainly a team next year. He'd be all right, who's messing around? Take a wine break on a sports show. We're gonna do a wine tasting on a sports show. Really, David? Come on, man. But again, I mean, if I were to steal, I mean, that would be a nice pickup for the Steelers this year. Quite frankly, big body. You need a legit number two. We got a lot of route runners on offense. But again, he's tall. He's got that athletic body. He could, he certainly make some things happen. I would love to have T. Higgins on the Steelers, and I think he'd be reasonably priced. Maybe not the $30+ million that Ayuk and all these other guys are going for, but I can certainly see in the mid-20s. I can certainly see that happening there. So what do you guys think about the wide receiver outside of CeeDee Lamb? So you got these guys are out here. What do you guys think of these guys' prospects, either staying with their teams, or where do you think these guys may land?
Well, I just saw Higgins earlier. He signed his franchise tag, and his whole mindset, he wanted to just shut up the noise as of right now. He didn't want it to be a really distraction, and I guess I'm assuming he's going to take care of that next offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Now with Ayuk, I don't think the 49ers are going to trade him this year because they're trying to win a title and they need him. It just really depends what exactly, because I've been hearing, I forgot the details on how his negotiating been going, but I've been hearing like it's really not, he's not really doing that well of a job between him and his agent negotiating their terms with the 49ers.
Right.
Like they've been making like mistakes or whatnot. So, but as of now, I don't think 49ers are really interested in trading them. Because like I said, they trying to win a title. They have all their pieces, and then they one receiver that, is trying to hold out and whatnot. That's definitely something they're not, gonna want to do. So I think something will get done by the end of training camp. But yeah, from what I've heard, and I hate that I forgot the details on it, the way he's been going about, or way his agent has been going about negotiating for this, it's like they've been kind of making mistakes left and right, the way how they've been their timetable for all this. So, but yeah, and just the total, I don't think he'll be going anywhere this season.
Now, one side story again, in addition, to the Ayuk story, again, their all-pro tackle Trent Williams, he wants a new contract now to be sitting out. So again, he's not apparently reporting to camp. So that might be another situation that the 49ers are going to have to address. So I'm not sure how much that'll complicate the situation. And again, if you had to choose, would you try to trade Ayuk or keep Williams? But how many leagues he's got? Years he got in the league? He's like a 10-year vet.
It's still
No, Trent.
That receiver.
Trent.
You get rid of that receiver.
Yeah,
he did his first 10 years with us in Washington.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. So I don't know why he's trying to flex now. Try to get try to ride it out. You almost had a career in, but he still think he's still the top one of the top OTs in the league. So he's still trying to get his final bag before he gets out. Can't blame him for that. But what's going on, Trey? Welcome to the show. Good to have you here. And so why don't you doing well. All right. So I know you're high on your draft pick on at QB. You think clearly he's going to outdo Caleb. So just give us the reports out of Chocolate City, out of Washington D.C. What's going on there with the franchise? How you feeling about the season and your prospects coming up?
Well, obviously, like Dante was talking about earlier, we went through an ownership change. And, anytime you go through an ownership change, you're going to get a lot of new faces, right? And we got a ton of them. Kent Kingsbury, Quinn. We got a new GM. We got San Francisco's, I believe it was GM. We got him in there now. We got a lot of new faces, even within the ownership group. Magic Johnson is a part of the ownership group.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of things going on right now. The best thing that's been happening is we're not hearing much of anything. And that's the best part.
Yeah.
Is that I like quiet training camps. I don't like a whole bunch of this guy's sitting out, this guy's not coming, this guy. I like quiet. And right now the focus has been on developing Jaden. We got a couple new wide receivers. We got a couple DBs that came out of the draft. So a lot of this is about getting them, everybody's learning a new system right now. Y'all know when a new system comes in, that first year, everybody's learning new terminology, not necessarily new terminology, but how the terminology works within the system. So there's a lot of that going on. But as far as we know right now, we're not hearing any bad news. We did make a questionable pickup in Bobby Wagner. I'm not quite sure. I think he's just there to teach them the defense. Right. Because he came from Dan Quinn's system in Seattle.
Right.
I would believe that he's there. He's there to sort of teach them this is how this goes. I don't think tackles, and that's not what I'm expecting. I'm expecting for him to help develop the younger guys within that defensive system. That's why he's there.
Gotcha.
I'm very high on Jaden Daniels. I've been hearing good things about his work ethic. Man, his work ethic. He's in the film room. I heard a long time out of Washington. I heard guys showing early. Even with all the hype with RG3, we didn't get all that. We hear about his work ethic. We hear a lot about Jaden's work ethic, and apparently he was known for his work ethic in college.
All right, Trey, you're kind of breaking up a little bit. You're coming in, you're going in and out. You're kind of breaking up. Can you repeat that last? Yeah, come on back in if you get a chance. Go out and come in. We got a couple more guys in the back. Who's in the chat? Who we got back there?
I'm checking right now. I don't see nobody.
So we got 3 users who are on audio only. So everyone should just unmute and just introduce yourself. All right, well, we'll just keep the conversation moving. But again, certainly unmute yourself. Come up if you have a comment. Certainly on the upcoming season. If you got a team that you have some news as far as from your training camp. Salute to William Williams. Good to be here. Good that you're here this evening. And also Ragnar Runner, who's unfortunately he's a Cowboy fan and figures that he would come with that smoke in the back. Unfortunately, but yeah, you're stuck with Dak. You're stuck with that situation. So I don't know. So you're gonna have to live with that one. But good to be here tonight. But Trey, you were breaking up a little bit before you were talking about Daniels. So why don't you go ahead and just repeat what you're saying on here?
No, I'm sorry about that. I was just saying we were hearing a lot about his work ethic, but that was we heard the same thing in college, that he has an incredible work ethic. And I was just saying we haven't heard that about QBs in Washington for a long time. We haven't heard about the QB coming in that was working hard. So it's refreshing to hear that he's the first guy in the building, and he's in the film room and he's working and getting that extra work in. I'm excited for once. I hardly.
So
ever really
you think he's going to be the anointed number one, or is it going to be a competition?
I don't know. Yeah, he's the number one. You don't use a second pick to put him on the bench. He's going to be the number one, but I think he actually has the skills necessary to play 10 plus years in this league at a high level. How far he goes, I don't know. But I think that he actually has the skills if he can stay healthy. Yeah, he does have a slight slender frame, right? And you know, hits in the NFL, I would imagine a little bit different than the hits in college. So you know, hopefully he can stay healthy. If he can, I think he'll have a really good career. He's got a great arm. He's got a great
from what I've seen,
for sure.
His running,
for
got to slide and get down to lessen those injuries because they're gonna come at you. And I think if he does that, you know, don't want to get y'all anything.
Anthony Richardson got a bigger frame. He's 240 and he's still getting hurt. So
go
out there and play. If he get hurt, he's just gonna get hurt.
Absolutely. I think they may have to dial him back. I think this thing he's trying to be like Cam Newton running over people or whatever. So you need to someone like that, you need to dial him back.
And Daniels, he's I don't know if he's as athletic as Richardson. He's hell of athletic, but Daniels he's athletic too, and he'll take off running too. But I think some teams.
Yeah, but he's slight build though. He's
slight. I just think some teams just worry too much about that, and then you mess around and miss a great player. Put him back there. If he gets hurt, then that's.
Well, keep in mind now. You said again. Saying that RG3, right? RG3 was balling, and then he got hurt. He was never the same player after that. But he was killing it. And
Burrow, he got injured, missed his year, and came back and balled again. So it's just unfortunately that's just the nature of the game. You just don't want to miss out on key players because you potentially if you worrying about an injury they already suffered, that's one thing. But if you already worried about their build, I'm like, because I'm just glad. Well, you look at the Panthers and Bryce Young. I'm interested to see how he's going to be. You talking about a slight build, so they do one number one overall pick. But I think Daniels he's going to be. I think he should start from game one. Put him out there, put him in the fire. He's gonna have his bumps. I think C.J. Stroud kind of ruined it for some fan, basically thinking they potential quarterback may come in and just ball out from game one. That don't really happen too much in the NFL. Houston fans, I hope he don't have a sophomore wall or something like that. So.
Yeah, that's definitely on my bucket list. Certainly to get to that museum, no doubt. But guys, I'm going to move on to the next block unless you guys want something to say, anything. So again, from opening day, from the training camps opening up, any other comments? There's one more football topic that I want to get into, and then I want to get into the Team USA basketball situation. But any other thing before we move on to our next block?
No, go ahead.
All right, good. So again, found a list. Certainly on Sports Link. So again, top 25 NFL players over the last 25 years. So this is good. So hopefully we don't got to go back to 1970s. So this is the 70 Steelers or the 85 Bears. So Hank, I don't want to be hearing about no 85 Bears or anything like that. The last 25 years. So we're all old enough to remember, but it's not so old with the game. They were playing with leather helmets back then. All right. So again, we're talking about relatively in the modern era. And just wanted to kind of go through some of this. The first, actually, I got problems with
what source you got this from?
The source of this, I was just looking. Yeah, actually, I sent it to you guys in your link.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So I got this off of my sports app.
Oh, okay.
And so again, top 25. But I already got some problems with it already. So number one, Tom Brady. Yeah, now we can debate that, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of debate there. Number 2 is Peyton Manning. I mean, I'm having issues already. The guy had like a 9-10 playoff record. Yes, he limped into a Super Bowl, won one because Cam played so poorly in that Super Bowl, so he got an extra Super Bowl win. I don't think he really deserved to get. But 3 Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he certainly moved up the charts. Number 4, Aaron Donald. Number 5, Ray Lewis. So, again, the past 25 years, that's your top 5 players from this list in the last 25 years. What do you guys think of that top 5? I'm having a problem with Manning. You have to really fight me to put him in the top 15, let alone top 10. But I'm just not feeling that off the top.
MVP. That's why
I think that's a level think that's a generation thing. Because I know for me, I'm younger, so I know I saw Peyton, and I saw the playoff battles where you're losing, but I saw the greatness where it's just like to get there and consistently win so much. I hold him in high esteem. Where as far as all right, I know you mentioned the playoff record, right? I am a part of the group that I understand what you're saying when you say playoff record, but quarterback and record, the record is on the head coach. I think the quarterback is like, how do you play? And how he played is, to me, one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. And so it's like, I understand him being that high and, the football brain and everything. I dig it. I'm glad Donald was in the top five because I think sometimes defenders get disrespected. And his impact from the interior position at his size was amazing. And so I'm glad he was up that high. Ray, I don't like the stuff off the field, but, there's a lot there. But on the field, yeah, he was definitely one of the best.
All right, well, just talk about those two. Who would you think had more impact, Ray Lewis or Aaron Donald? I know they're different position players, but in terms of leadership, in terms of all those intangible attributes, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and one he got later in his career. But what would you?
I'm about to go with Ray.
I don't know. I guess it might be recency bias, but I would say probably Ray, just because year in year out they were led by the defense. That's what they were. Offense was disgusting. It literally made you sick. Like the clip where it was like, just don't let them score. And it's just like, damn, you suck that bad. It's like, and so they carried that, and it's just like it was a tough thing. So he probably that, and I know the last one he did have some help with Flacco. He went on the heater, but that first run and all those years of going to the AFC Championship, being in the playoffs, all off the base of that defense. So he had the bigger impact. I'll say probably better overall player, probably not. That's what I'm thinking. I agree with the ranking of him being above him, but bigger impact, probably not.
Trey Ferg, what you got on that?
Oh, go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, Trey Ferg. Yep, you there.
You can't get him.
I mean, yeah,
I'm
sorry, man. Listen, man, the list, I got a problem with Peyton Manning also. He's one I could take out of there. I'm not sure who could go in front of him, but.
All right, so we can go. Shawnee, you got a comment on it?
Well, I think with Peyton Manning, because he got 5 NFL MVPs. I mean, because we only doing the past 25 years.
25, right?
It's going to be hard to really find, unless you just go somebody who was over in a championship, which is why Brady is above him. But 5 NFL MVPs, man, that's a hell of a. I mean, his season was in on a couple of occasions by Brady, and like Dante, I just remember watching Peyton. That dude was a maestro behind that damn offensive line. It's just, I mean, I guess his postseason, his championships don't speak because he only won. Because really, even though he won one with Denver, and that was an incredible offense that they didn't win, and they got blown out by Seattle. But really, when you think of Manning, you just think of Indy. The fact that he only won one with Indy, it still kind of blows my mind right now because his playoff. He reminds me, but not as bad but he reminds me of Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw, if you look at his regular season, people would think he probably was the greatest pitcher ever.
But again, bombed in the postseason. Great.
Postseason is just falls off. Peyton Manning is not that bad. He did win a ring, and he has some success in the playoffs, but it's going in that direction. It's just he was so high in the regular season, I don't know why his postseason just didn't match. But I got to drop him a peg because again he lost against guys that he had no business losing to. I mean, I got it. And he looked bad, and he looked bad doing it. Now that dude lost some games. He did.
All right. Well, he's on. So I'll go to Trey Taylor. You had a comment on this before we move on?
I mean, yeah. My question would be, who would you replace him with?
All right. Let's go. All right. So let's go to.
And the last 25 years, outside of Brady, who's been the next best quarterback?
That's that 25-year span kind of locks you in.
Well, outside of Brady, so you would still put him over Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, because his career isn't over. So we're talking about a full length career of Peyton Manning. We got to watch his entire career. Here's the thing: do I think in the end of the day will Mahomes be better than? Of course, yes, absolutely. But we're talking about the last 25 years. I listen to defensive players talk about Peyton Manning. Dude gave him nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
He gave him nightmares. This is the same reason why I would say Aaron Donald would be higher than Ray Lewis. How many people did they have to put on Aaron Donald? 3? That's almost unheard of in the NFL. 3 offensive linemen?
Yeah, I would definitely.
He was a game wrecker.
Absolutely. No, definitely. I will put Aaron over Ray. No question about that. But here we got 6 through 10. All right, so we're going to get into some other position players as well. So again, number 6 on the list is Aaron Rodgers. Number 7, J.J. Watt. Number 8, Ed Reed, which I definitely don't agree with. Number 9, Randy Moss. Number 10, LaDainian Tomlinson. He's got just as many Super Bowls, right?
Once again, we were just talking about quarterback wins not being a stat and that being a team thing. That guy got some team that he had team success. But if you go back and look at that, man, it was some times where for a quarterback that's supposed to be quote unquote good, elite, and man, y'all were out here just looking suspect. Like it was outside of those Super Bowl runs. Some of them years looked real lean on playoff appearances and playoff success. So it's just like he had the 2 great runs, and then whether it's sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But you said you didn't agree with Ed Reed. Do you think he was too high?
No, not high at 8. I mean, look, go through the list here. Let me just go through some of these. I'll just run through and we can circle back.
You're not a little biased being a Steelers
fan? Oh, I'm 100% biased. I don't care. All right. So, number 11, Adrian Peterson. Now, again, Trey Taylor, to your point about, again, Frank Gore has more yards than Adrian Peterson. But still, I'm picking Adrian as probably my best back over this entire run. So Absolutely. No injuries.
I didn't see Frank Gore wasn't on the list, right?
No, he wasn't. No, I guess he's one of those classic compilers, but he got 16,000 yards.
I'm sorry. I got so tired of people whining and man, that guy was a compiler. He played for there's a difference between playing a long time and being great. Adrian Peterson hit it to where he was compiling, but you saw some greatness where it was just like, hey, I was the league MVP. I came back off of an ACL off of 9-10 months. Just great things. LaDainian Tomlinson, greatness, but still accomplishing a lot of stats. I applaud them for not doing that. I applaud them for one player that I don't really care for that much, but had a lot of good stats. Should have been on this list. Steve Smith. He's a guy that they pump up and they let him get on there because he's a good media person. Dude, you was good, but let's be real. They literally got rid of you because you were more of a personality problem. They made the Super Bowl.
Right.
Let's be real. And then,
All right, so to that point, then again, go back to the top again. Patrick Mahomes or Peyton Manning. I mean, I can make a case right now. I'm picking Patrick. Much more playoff success. 3 Super Bowls. Already got more Super Bowl rings than him or Rodgers. And I would, and certainly on a dime, if you're going to ask me who I'm picking Patrick. 7 out of 7. Twice on Sundays. I mean, it's not even close.
Does the level of competition matter? Because if I kept bumping up against the Patriots every year, that might affect my wins and losses.
Well, so did Patrick. Because remember, Patrick lost to Brady one year, right?
He was in Tampa.
Yeah, he lost to him.
He lost to him. Didn't he? Didn't Mahomes lose to the Patriots?
Super Bowl that the Chiefs lost was against Tampa.
No, I'm saying, but in a playoff, there was an earlier playoff, like his first or second year playoff. He lost to Brady in the AFC Championship game as a Patriot.
We're talking about Brady on the way out.
Yeah, he still beat him, and he won the Super Bowl. Did they win it, or they lost to the Eagles that year? I gotta look that up.
They lost to the.
He lost to Brady twice.
Yeah, lost to Brady twice. He lost in the.
One with the Patriots. That was that AFC Championship game, and then he lost to him in the Super Bowl with Tampa. So.
I remember that one. It was like he was scrambling everywhere. That was rough.
Yeah, that Tampa defense was pretty nasty that year. I'll certainly give them that. They had some dogs on that defense, but again, so you got Adrian Peterson number 11, 12 is Drew Brees, 13 Charles Woodson. I got a problem with this one. 14, Tony Gonzalez. 15, Troy Polamalu. I'm sorry. I'm taking Troy over Ed Reed. Again, the guy played free all over. He could play the pass. He could play the run. He played the line, tackling people. I mean, basically, Ed, he was safety, but he's basically he was a corner. He was a corner playing safety. What's that?
Did Troy return kicks?
When did Ed Reed return? Maybe early in his career. He wasn't doing late in his career. But he certainly returned balls for touchdowns. I know that in that AFC Championship game, he picked off the Ravens and ran it in for a touchdown. He could do that. So I'm just saying. I mean, Troy, just as a freak athlete, just a naturally instinctive player. I'm picking Troy. But to have him 15, I know. I'm not. Listen, guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
Hold on. Brother Bennett, you saying okay? So Ed Reed is one of the best safeties in the game over the.
He wasn't a safety. He was a cornerback playing safety.
Yeah, he was.
Let's get that right. Troy was a true safety, free safety in the truest sense of the word. He was a free safety.
He was all right.
What's your beef with Tony Gonzalez?
I don't know. Ed Reed was laying the head at safety at the time.
Hang on. All right, so let's go through the rest. All right, so Tony, so talk about tight ends. All right, so Tony Gonzalez 14, Polamalu 15, Travis Kelce 16. I would already pick Kelce over Gonzalez. Then you got Rob Gronkowski 17. Right? Joe Thomas 18. Derek Brooks 19. 20 is Julius Peppers. 21 Marshall Faulk. 22 Champ Bailey. 23 Terrell Owens. 24 Brian Urlacher, and 25 Calvin Johnson. So that's your top 25 over the past 25 years. And again, this here just for context, this comes from The Score, and this was an article written by Nick Farris, Kyle Murray, and Daniel Valentine. So
were they high the entire time they was writing this list?
But let's talk about the tight ends.
But hang on. There's no possible way a man that was feared like Calvin Johnson is the 25th best player of the last 25 years. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think they're giving him a lot of slack for the team he played for. I mean, the Lions were awful for the majority of that stretch, which is a shame. That was the two worst crimes I can remember in the past 25 years. One, Calvin Johnson playing for the Lions, and second, Barry Sanders playing for the Lions. Those are atrocities against some of the greatest players of all time, having to be with such an awful franchise. But let's just talk about the tight ends. So again, Gonzalez, Kelce, Gronkowski.
We're in a new age. How do y'all feel about y'all's tight ends as far as blocking? How do y'all feel about that? I just want to ask y'all that question.
Well, if I block it, it's a major, and that's why I would put Gronk over all three.
I think Gronk is almost like a throwback. He's kind of like the bridge between the two eras, because he can certainly get out there and block. But as far as catch pad, like nobody could guard him. His catch radius was like 10 feet. I mean, you couldn't. You put a safety on him. You put a linebacker. You put a defensive back. He caught everything. So I mean, it's like he was like almost like the unguardable on the football team. Kelce, he's more athletic. He makes those stretch out catches and everything. But who was guarding Gronkowski? I mean, the guy was ridiculous.
He's too low. He's too low on this, and it's like I know lists are made for reaction, but like this reaction needs to be that like, hey man, you made a lot of mistakes. It's like you kind of had a deadline, and you was like, we got to get it in. And it's like you made a lot of mistakes, guys.
No revision.
Like this is like I would have looked up to career stats because it's just like Rob Gronkowski in his time. It's ridiculous. 521 catches, 7,861 yards, receiving 79 touchdowns, and it's just like, and he's out there really blocking. We know he missed a lot of time with injuries, but he was out there really. He's so big that you're coming out and you're giving him the hardest hit that you can because you got to get him down. And then he's just out there destroying guys in the run game. And it's just like this guy, he can do it both. And I feel like as great as Kelce's numbers are, you can put Kelce up there high, but I need Gronk high. Just off of the eye test of seeing it. I need T.O. from seeing it. No, he was destructive. But seeing it with my own eyes, from killing my team to playing for my team, I've seen it. This is like, now this dude here is incredible. 23 is too low. They must have included attitude and likability in this. because he was way too low.
That's good.
I got two gripes. My first, did you say Terrell Owens on this list at all?
23. He's 23 on the list.
Way too low. Way too low. I'm talking about feet.
Okay.
I'm talking about feet.
And my second one, LaDainian Tomlinson better than Marshall Faulk? When? Where?
Yeah.
The only thing I'm thinking right now, because this 25-year gap, I'm trying to. So right now, so that goes back to '99, right?
Yeah.
When did Faulk come into the league?
It was like late 90s.
Late 90s, like he was
mid 90s. It was mid 90s.
So that's the only thing.
But by '99 he was with the Rams.
That was Brady Show on turf.
Actually, came in '94. Faulk came in '94 to 2005, so he played 10 years in the league.
Yeah, so it's some years that they just not including in his career that if you were to stress it out, maybe 30 years, his numbers would have been better, compared to Tomlinson. But I mean, I look at both of them.
Tomlinson,
man, you splitting hairs because they was like they played alike. I'm looking at it.
They both played 10 years in the league.
Tomlinson was ridiculous, man.
Yeah, Tomlinson. I mean, you can't. If you just saying Faulk was better, flat out better than Tomlinson, that means that's just like a personal bias. Because I can't. You could probably make an argument. It'll be a damn hard argument between the two running backs. They played alike. Both of their strengths, they both were smart as hell in the backfield. I mean, you heard stories about Faulk. He knew everybody what they assignment. So it's just, and Tomlinson, he just had a nose for that end zone. So, I mean, it's just, dude.
I think Tomlinson's time with the Jets was why I would put him lower. He wasn't the same Tomlinson he was with San Diego.
I forgot he played with the Jets. Man.
And then the reason why is because the Marshall Faulk I remember with the Colts was nasty. And then the Marshall Faulk with the Rams was nastier. And once he got around better players, it seems as though he got better. I'm just not completely sure if I had to count Tomlinson's times with the Jets, I would have to bring I don't know, I would just bring them down a little bit. But I do agree with you though, Shawnee, their styles are very, very similar. And you really are splitting hairs. I mean, you can't lose with either one of them in your backfield. You're not really losing anything.
You're right, and like Mr. Bennett admitted his bias, I'll admit mine. Being a Fort Worth kid and seeing him from TCU be in the Heisman hunt and the posters, and then seeing him there, I literally went to the same church as me, and just seeing his career, I can't separate that. And so but Faulk was. Tell you how good Faulk was. Remember when the Patriots cheated and won the Super Bowl that time? Yeah, they was focusing on Faulk. They was like, we gotta stop him because he hit us in the run game. He could come and catch us. They was chipping him. He was the focal point of the game plan. No knock on Kurt Warner, but Belichick can read, hey, who's the best guy, and we're gonna take him out. And you saw that Super Bowl. You didn't see those explosive plays because they were chipping, hitting, and put. Well, they knew the plays. So that's just
right.
Well, all right, so question for y'all.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I was looking at the comments. Do y'all believe Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Fame quarterback?
Yeah.
Not first ballot, not even second ballot. He may get in after 10 years or whatever, but
that question right there does LT because Rivers was his QB. Meanwhile, Warner, who's obviously in the Hall of Fame, was Faulk's QB when he won the title. And I think Warner won MVP that season, didn't he?
Yeah.
When they won the ring?
Yes.
Yeah, they would definitely say it's it. Right.
I don't think Rivers has played up to the level that Warner did to win them that ring. So I think that was, you can't put that on Tomlinson.
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
He did his thing. It's just when you not even QB, when you're talking about rings,
off yards
one had
alone.
a better QB at the time. When they won the ring. And Rivers not a bad QB. He just wasn't. He didn't play like Warner when they won it.
And what you said,
and Rivers didn't have a Marshall Faulk in the backfield either. It's a difference. He didn't have a Marshall Faulk.
He had Tomlinson.
Yeah, he had Tomlinson.
Yeah.
No, not first ballot. I wouldn't put him in first ballot.
Yeah, no. Don't forget Big B. Yeah, Phillip is definitely not a first or a second round, but he gets in. He absolutely gets in.
Yeah.
Especially
now question
a lean year where they ain't got nobody.
Yeah.
they need a big name.
And somebody
So if Phillip gets in, do you think Eli gets in? If Phillip gets in, does Eli get in?
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why.
I'm gonna
tell you why he gets in. He gets in on the strength of one thing and one thing alone. His team beat an undefeated Patriots team. Yeah. He gonna get in on that alone in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And he beat him
in New York.
Beat him twice. Yeah.
In the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
That means something different. Be from one of the blue bloods. So that means something. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. That's why any list that doesn't put him on there as a highly ranked guy, I'm for it. He's gonna get his gold jacket. He's good, and he's got a million commercials.
Yeah, so some of these guys. I mean, obviously this list isn't long on active players. I think Patrick Mahomes might be one of the only guys who's still currently active in the league. But as far as some of these pass rushers on here, I know Julius Peppers, Derek Brooks. I mean, come on, T.J. Watt. Can he get some love to get on this list? Top 20 in the last 25 years, as destructive of a linebacker as it is, led the league. Should have had another MVP, defensive player of the year this year. Got robbed by that no name in Cleveland. So I'm just saying that, you know, can't T.J. Watt get some love on this list? Come on now.
Like you said, Mr. Bennett, the only one who's currently playing like on that list is Mahomes.
It's Mahomes, yeah. So
Kelsey,
you know,
who put the
Kelsey.
Well,
Kelsey too. You're true that.
They obviously they're not looking at current players,
right?
You know, they obviously looking at which is kind of if you're gonna go 25 years, go 25 years, but
right.
They looking at players whose careers has already been done for, but by the time T.J. Watt, his brother is on there, but T.J. is done, he by far will be, if they do another 25 year by the time he retires, he will be on there.
But I mean, these guys are old enough. I mean, see, the list is young enough where you still remember your eye test when you saw these guys play.
Yeah. And
so I'm thinking Julius Peppers. I don't even remember him that much having that much impact. Or Derek Brooks. I mean, that whole defense was pretty loaded with talent across the board. So was Derek Brooks that dominant that he was just like that unstoppable guy? I don't remember him being that. I mean, that defense was that. I mean, you got Warren Sapp. I mean, they had dogs on that team. That was a legend. That 2002 team that won. That was like one of those legendary defenses.
There were several seasons where Derek Brooks led the league in tackles. They constantly referred to him as the fastest man on the field at the linebacker position. And that Tampa 2 was nasty.
No doubt. Yeah.
And no doubt. That defense that they had where they made it to the Super Bowl, I want to say, and lost to the
Patriots, right? That was the Panther team that lost to the Patriots, yeah.
All those years he had in Carolina, he was tremendous. And then he had a resurgence when he went to Green Bay, and it was like, oh, and he still had the juice with the Panthers. The only reason I think he left, remember back when he used to let guys go and do the franchise tag? I think he got to 2 or 3, and it was just like, we can't pay him because it's so much money. And it was, I think the last year was like 17.5 mil, and then he left. And then because in my eyes, I know people say like Steve Smith and Cam Newton, it's the top 3 Panthers ever. It might be like Luke Kuechly is in the top 5, but Cam Newton, Julius Peppers, Steve Smith, those guys are in there. You know, maybe a Jordan Gross or something like that. He was a dominant force in the league, and then to switch positions to be linebacker literally cost me a game once. That fumble he did on DeMarco Murray changed the game. Not just the best play. But when you go guys and make an impact guys like that, he's deserving. I know he's getting inducted in the Hall of Fame in a few weeks.
I had the unfortunate pleasure of seeing Julius Peppers a lot because I'm in the DMV and they were in Carolina. And unfortunate pleasure of watching him just wreck Patrick Ramsey and all them other guys that we had at quarterback. He would just absolutely, utterly destroy them weekend, like every single time. So Julius Peppers I don't know where he would be on this list, where I would put him, but he's certainly on the list. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Of the last 25 years, yeah. He played about 17, 18 years in the league.
Yeah, he had a long career, yeah. Like I said, almost compiler. The only offensive tackle they got on here is Joe Thomas. I don't have a problem with that. 11-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro. So I know you've had some center, you've had some, you've had some decent guys, but I'm not going to argue Joe Thomas being on. If he had to pick an OT,
the big fellas don't get no love, man.
Yeah, because your boy Trent, you were talking about Trent Williams early. He's an 11-time Pro Bowl also. He's up there.
Jeff Saturday, they don't get no love, man.
Jeff Saturday,
they don't get no love, man.
Oh no.
I saw him say that Urlacher was too low. I mean,
oh, come on, man.
He's on the list.
Jerome Bettis ran him over, man. Jerome Bettis ran Urlacher over, so I don't want to hear about some Urlacher,
man. Patrick, was it Patrick Willis? He not on the list?
No. In fact, I was just gonna go. So I was gonna go around. I was gonna ask everybody. Okay, so again, pick your guy who's not on the list. So again, I'll go through it quickly again. You give me a guy who definitely is deserving on the list, but is not on the list currently. Again, Brady, Manning, Mahomes, Donald, Ray Lewis, Aaron Rodgers, J.J. Watt, Ed Reed, Randy Moss, Tomlinson, Peterson, Breeze, Woodson, Gonzalez, Polamalu, Kelsey, Gronkowski, Thomas, Brooks, Peppers, Falk, Champ Bailey, Terrell Owens, Brian Urlacher, Calvin Johnson. Anybody who you admit that definitely should be in this list that's not on it. What's your biggest miss from the list? You go around. Trey Taylor, you can take that on first, and we'll just go around.
I would probably have Luke Kuechly in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably have him in there somewhere. He was a game wrecker, and I don't know who I would take off though. I'm trying to think of who I would take out to put them in the 26th position. But if I had a choice, it would definitely be Luke Kuechly. I would have him in there somewhere.
All right, Shawnee, who you got? Someone not on the list that should be on the list, just from your recent memory and playing. That's again, I think 25 is a nice number because we're all old enough at the same time. We weren't 5 years old watching these games.
I think my dark horse would probably be Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald, yeah, he was a good one.
He just was playing, and he was in a situation with Arizona. I think that's the same thing with Calvin Johnson. He just wasn't on a team that was doing much until he got hurt, and they made it to the Super Bowl that one time. But he balled at that whole playoff run. But
you got to read, Poppy, for my contracts.
Go ahead, Dante. Who you got? Biggest glaring miss here.
He's on the All-Decade team, 9-time All-Pro, 7-time first team, and that's Zach Martin in 10 seasons. And it's one of those where it's just like the Cowboys do this a lot. They will, for tradition, they will give a player a former player's number that was great, and they gave him Rayfield Rice's number, who's in the Hall of Fame. Zach Martin will be too, and they might have to stop giving out 70 in Dallas.
Trey Ferg, who you got?
I chose some good ones, man. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Revis Island, man.
Oh, you stole mine. Oh, I was about to snatch that up. I was about to snatch that up, man. Now I gotta go in. Man.
I'm sorry, brother. Bennett, you
just stole mine.
I was over here like this, like I don't like saying nothing.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Now I gotta come up with another one. All right, I'm going nah, I won't do that. I won't do that to you guys. I'll do it. I won't go. I was gonna go Homer again, but I won't do it. Man, I thought I had I almost myself.
What about Michael Strahan?
It's controversial, but you should say it.
Oh, Antonio Brown, wide receiver.
There we go.
For a 6-year period.
Just bias.
Think about it, just your eye test. Forget everything that came after that. Forget everything that happened that hit that he took from that guy Perfect. Forget all that. The guy, as little as he was, you couldn't guard him. He also did kick returns and punt returns for you. In fact, the last time the Steelers had a kickoff or punt return touchdown was with Antonio Brown. Had that stuff not happened, he was first ballot Hall of Famer, period. 120 catches a year. The guy was a monster.
No, you're right.
I think the same
you're right. You're right. I don't want to because he twerked on us when he came to Washington. He twerked on it. He wound up getting fined for that. He twerked on us, and I didn't like that. After he scored like his third touchdown in like 6 minutes or something like that, like he just destroyed us. It was crazy. Yeah. I'll give you another name though. Roethlisberger is not on the list.
Well, certainly I would put him. Certainly I would put him at like I know Rivers is not on the list. I know people talking about that earlier, but do I want to put him in over Could you put him over Rodgers?
At the time, yeah, Rodgers only got one.
He's been to 3 Super Bowls. Rodgers has only been to 1 Super Bowl. Roethlisberger's went to 3, won 2.
Yeah,
so yeah,
a lot of times, Super Bowls, Super Bowls is more of a team thing. If you're doing a list like this, you're looking at individual accomplishments. That's when you look at the MVPs. And Rodgers has 4 MVPs? So that's hard to kind of compare.
I like Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers been going out to the mountains with him, getting high and shit. Like that shit.
It's ayahuasca.
That shit, man. He's all out there in Wally land.
Ayahuasca. And all
with the birds and shit, man. Hey, what about Marvin Harrison?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I never saw Marvin do anything spectacular. Like me, I also look at, again, I test on doing stuff that's just like, oh my gosh, how'd he do that? I just, you got Peyton throwing you the ball.
That's not fair, Mr. Bennett.
He's biased to Pittsburgh.
That's so unfair.
No, if I was biased, I would have said something. I said nothing about anybody in the AFC North. That would be biased. So I didn't diss anybody in it.
Was run great routes and catch touchdowns.
That's it.
That's all but it's like Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, who would you? I mean, he was the same way. You could say quiet greatness.
Yeah,
I would say quiet greatness.
Larry went over people. Larry.
But Antonio Brown did flips. He would run for a touchdown, do a front flip, and land. Right, stuck the landing. I mean, come on. The guy was a freak for a 6th round draft pick. Also, he was a 6th round. Came from a small D3 school, something like that.
Like I said, I think Brown not being on this is the same reason Patrick Willis not. They career.
FCS, okay.
Willis had a short career. Brown, you just always think about the Steelers, everything else.
But he had Hall of Fame. You could have made he had Hall of Fame. I mean, just what he had. That was just. I don't know if he'll get in, but I mean, he was an absolute beast.
I know you hear people talk make joke about Skip Bayless when it comes to T.O. and how he didn't believe he was not a first ballot because he kept considering all the off the field stuff. It's going to be interesting when it's time to look at Antonio Brown. I mean, you got to exercise some discipline in your voting when it comes, because this dude, yes, his Steelers was Hall of Fame worthy, but damn it, that dude everywhere else, my goodness, dude.
It was bad. It was bad.
So it's like.
I can tell you right now, Antonio's not getting in. Running off the field.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The team in the middle will never get in.
Look, I think that perfect hit, did something. I think that everything changed after that.
Screwed up so bad that if he would have just waited less than a week,
he would have got that money in Oakland.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, dude, you just
that's it. But I know you got who was the receiver in Atlanta all those years? Julio Jones and whatnot. So would he be in the top 25 in your opinion? Okay, all right.
No, but Larry Fitzgerald is a travesty. Yeah. He should be.
Yeah.
I said a quiet 18K. Nah, he was 1,432 catches, 1,792 yards, 121 TDs. That's bad.
Yeah,
that's a tough one.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, I could definitely see him in this list. But
on the 2010s team, which if you make the All-Decade team, that's basically the All-Decade team of guys that are all going to be in the Hall of Fame.
True that. All right, last segment. We're going into, unless you guys got something else to cover. Just want to go into the last segment for the night. So you had Team USA. So again, Olympic Games starts this Friday. Certainly, Team USA. They've been scrimmaging, basically playing these teams, but they barely beat South Sudan. Not even Sudan, but Southern Sudan. Barely eked it out. LeBron gets the point, to go ahead. And so, what do you think? Do you think this might be it for Team USA? They just kind of crank it up. I mean, they got a lot of older guys. LeBron, Steph. All these guys are over 35 years of age. Do you think they can actually be upset this year? I know they beat Serbia earlier, and they're saying that Serbia might be the team to beat or to give them the toughest competition there. But what do you think of the the win, the barely eking out against Southern Sudan? Is that a sign of things to come, or are they just getting warmed up? What do you guys think about that? And I got to give some shout out though to Southern Sudan, because I know Luol Deng from Southern Sudan. Africa basketball is building up. We already see it certainly in the college ranks. A lot of these players have names on the back of their jerseys that are not American names. So these guys are going to Africa to get talent. I know there's been a lot of investment of NBA basketball in Africa to develop these players. And now you got these guys who were NBA players going back and helping those programs as well. We could be seeing a different landscape in the next 5-10 years on the global stage when it comes to basketball powerhouses. Up to this point, it's been the Greeks, it's been the Russians, it's been the Serbians or whatever, but Africa might be on the way up. So I like your opinion on that also. So talk about the game and then talk about the prospects for basketball in the continent of Africa.
I guess I'll go ahead and start it off.
Go ahead, Shawnee.
As far as a team and the way they've been playing, right now this should be a USA team that's being highlighted by the youth on that team. And right now it's the oldest duo on the squad. It's the LA duo, and just the way I know you hear LeBron saying he likes, the challenge, and he I'm pretty sure he does. That's LeBron though. Steph, I'm not really worried about Steph. He'll get his shot will fall. But I'm waiting for like Anthony Edwards, Tyrese. This is y'all time to shine, and I think if they're gonna keep depending on LeBron and them, really LeBron and AD, I think there will be a game where they're gonna get upset because teams is gonna hit their shots gonna take. Because right now, it's one thing we're looking for their shots to fall. It's another team, USA. They don't have no defense in the paint. I mean, teams is getting in there scoring at will damn near in the paint. So I'm like, I thought that's what Embiid and, boys like that. But right now, nobody's stopping them from getting in the paint. So I think they will get upset unless something just changes and just clicks. But yeah, I think it may become. I can't spot the team because hell, if they take a 1-point win against South Sudan, I don't know. To me, right now, the field is open. So it could be any team right now. If they catch on fire, they could potentially beat USA. So I don't know. It's just I'm looking at the youth on the squad to really take a step, and so far they haven't. And because you can't keep depending on your 39-year-old to keep delivering at the end of the game. You shouldn't be in that situation. So
Dante, what you got on?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. When I saw the Serbia win, what it told me was the South Sudan game. What told me that was just like you were 43 and a half point underdogs. The only NBA player like that was like active they had on their team was former Laker Wyndon Gabriel, who is a try-hard guy that's going to give effort. And if you want to see something, I think Damian Lillard said this, and it's a thing on Twitter. Whatever it is about C+ or C-level NBA players, when they play for their home country, they turn up. And I saw Dave Lillard said the last Olympics, he was like, "You ain't never played like that, dog. Like, what got into you?" And then like from Evan Fournier, these guys, because it's like they are NBA talent, they have better players above them. But when it's them, they're the captain now. They ball, and so I give them their credit. That was embarrassing to let it get to that point and to play around with it. And also the whole thing of people who debate about LeBron is like it's getting late in these games, and they are not going to Steph. They're not. They're like, hey, the ball is in LeBron's hands, and he's making the plays. That has to stop. Somebody that's out of the rotation in Tyrese Halliburton as a young guy, that's bad. I don't know if it's injuries, what it is. You've got to step up because there's enough youth on the team to balance it out. KD just returned to practice, but Joel Embiid is not doing what he's supposed to do. So it's like I still think they're going to win gold. It's not going to be as convincing, but it's just they have to get it together so they can win. If you can beat Serbia like they did, and you got enough size, you can win the gold. It's just the focus. But my thing is, everybody's gonna say it. The team that's a gold medal threat is France. France is sitting out there with a lot of talent.
Yeah. Trey Ferg.
Listen, basketball today with Steve Kerr, He's a small ball guy. That's what his game is. He's a small ball guy. Again, it's not a really good look with LeBron having to be the so-called leader, but he is the leader. Since he's been in high school, he's been able to galvanize players. Just what it is. And I think now, they're going to be playing by international rules. So Embiid is going to have to be a down low Embiid. He can't be the 3-point Embiid. We got enough of them. They have enough perimeter runners and dribblers. He needs to be down low. Even AD, I think AD would be an advantage if he stays down low during the Olympics. I think he'll have an upscale advantage. And those guys will be able to match the height, but they don't have the skill as AD. And plus AD, he's going to get you a couple of block shots. But that's all Embiid needs to do. And let everybody else run around. Anthony Edwards, I think he's going to have a good Olympics also. I think LeBron is going to get them going early, and then other players are going to start to take over but they can't afford to be, losing no games. They lose a game, it's over. So,
yeah. Trey Taylor. Are we overhyping this thing? Scared where they're just going to turn on cruise control and just do this, or is it?
Yeah, it was a fluke. It was a fluke game. Look, I remember being in high school, my senior year, playing basketball, and we were getting ready to play this team, and they were supposed to be trash.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the scouting reports, everything, they were supposed to be garbage.
Right.
We beat them by 2. We beat them by 2. They cooked us for 3.5 quarters. It wasn't until our captain on our team basically told us to stop playing like the P word, and we got it together.
Right.
We beat them by 2. Sometimes these games just happen. Right. This is the reason why we play the games.
Right.
Right. To give the team a chance. And in football they say any given Sunday. We play the games for a reason. Right.
Right.
I didn't think it was just a fluke. I'm not too worried about it. But I will say this though. If I'm Paul George, I call my agent and I say, get me the hell out of Philly. Embiid is not that guy. He ain't that guy.
Right.
He ain't that guy.
Didn't
Get
I
me
say
out of
something
here,
about
bro.
that a couple of weeks ago that they shouldn't look to be building around Embiid no more?
Right. And what did you guys think? Side note. What did you guys think of those comments you said about LeBron? LeBron's not the same.
I gotta go back.
It's like he's the leader of your team. He's the guy to bail you out, and he's saying he's not the same player he used to.
I mean, I don't think it was the time to say that. I mean, he has taken a step back, obviously, but it's just like one of those things is if he's still playing better than you, he shut the hell up. He shut the hell up, and don't be surprised if he gives you absolute buckets when they play you this year. So just Paul George and all them when they getting worn out, it's just like, hey, you did this.
Right.
Embiid should focus on his own game.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not quite sure what his game is. I don't understand exactly what it is. Is he a 3-point shooter? Is he a guard? Is he a 7-foot center who can dominate? Does he play in the post? Is he a mid-range guy? Is he a high post? What exactly do you do?
Right.
One thing I always loved about Karl Malone was going to do the same damn thing every time down the court. I knew exactly where he was going. It was boring, but it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. Right? Even with MJ in his post first retirement when he came back, we knew what he was going to do. He was going to run that same triangle, and he was going to post up on that corner and give you a fadeaway. We knew what was going to happen. The question is, could you stop it? I just don't understand. I don't understand Embiid. I think for a lot of these guys, this should have been a, hey, LeBron, let us show you the league is in good hands type situation.
Yeah. And that's what
with Embiid and Tatum and Ant-Man. And I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing LeBron at 39. By the way, me and LeBron are the same age. Our birthdays are a day apart, by the way. We're the same age. I'm like, how is he doing this? Because my body hurts just getting out the bed in the morning. How is this?
$2 million a year.
Yeah, $2
million a year on training the diet. So,
good point. I ain't spending $2 million on my body. Yeah, for sure. But you know what I mean? Like, he it's incredible to watch him operate. And I would make the argument that from a mental capacity, he's better than where he was 20 plus years ago.
Oh, for sure.
And he's listen, when we grow up, you play YMCA ball. Y'all ever play YMCA ball?
Yeah.
Will cook your ass because they understand basketball. They understand movement. They understand the way it's supposed to be. I think that's just where LeBron is. LeBron understands the game of basketball better than he did. Not to say that he didn't 20 years ago, but he does. I just think he understands it better now, which is, in my opinion, looks like it's a little bit, just a slight bit easier than what it once was. He just doesn't have the physical capacity to do what he once used to do when he was younger. But Embiid, bro, hush, bro. Just be quiet. But if I'm Paul George, I'm like, yo, you got to get me up out of here. Because Embiid is he's not going to be that guy.
But that's the problem.
He's not
Paul
even
George is in the same boat. So it's really what the Spider-Man means, where they put each other. That's what it kind of is. Even though I like Paul George, you know, and I really like Embiid. He's really letting me down in the playoffs, and I don't expect that to stop. But yeah.
Right. Well, Trey,
I want to talk about the South Sudan, because you said the South
Sudan.
Yeah.
Or just Africa team, just Africa, the basketball on the continent in general.
Africa has always had good players. I mean, we talk about Hakeem Olajuwon, Dikembe Mutombo.
Right.
There were guys who came from there, but they were always more of a specialist type player. I think what you're starting to see now is African players starting to be more well-rounded. You know, I'm starting to be more well-rounded and can do more things. I would agree with you that Africa is probably, within the next 10 to 20 years, going to have quite a few players in the league that we playing at a high and elite level.
Right. But on the world level, like Olympic level or world championship level, do you see them fielding championship level teams or winning championships within that 10 to 20 year period, or will it still be just players here and there?
It's America. America will always win.
I see them winning.
We got the best.
I see them winning on a global stage. Let's just say tournaments outside of America. I think that they're going to be able to compete because you see the players that are foreign players. They're investing, and think about it. A lot of those guys, they all over 6'6". They slim. They can run the court. Their game is going to get better over the next, 10 to 15 years. The NBA is going to invest.
They've been playing pro ball. They like Luka. And some of them have been playing pro ball since their teens. And that league, the second greatest league in the world, is in Europe. So
that's what I'm saying. Did we see in the projected future, could Africa replace Europe in terms of dominance when it comes to basketball? That's what I know the investment. I said NBA has invested there. You got, again, these former African players. They're taking the game back home, or they're taking their resources to develop. And from what I understand, even the South Sudan team, from what I was reading earlier, they don't even have an indoor court.
They don't need none. Shit.
So I'm just saying, you start putting some dollars, you start building some facilities, and you start putting some strength and conditioning programs in. And we got, who knows? I mean, I know China, Asia's basketball is pretty big. So again, if people make the investment, it could be another, not only certainly a feeder for the NBA, because definitely we saw from this last month's draft. I mean, NBA, like I said, the top 6 out of the top 10, 6 of the top 10 players came from overseas. So definitely, it seems like they're going into the best because invested in the basketball team.
Hey, Black David, they ain't coming from Nigeria, so don't worry. I
don't hear too many balls coming out of Nigeria.
Exactly, sure. They ain't coming out of Nigeria.
But Trey Taylor, before we're gonna start doing our wrap ups, I want to get back to you because I know you had some heat after the NBA Finals. You had all kinds of smoke for Luka. Now again, he's looking at a supermax deal. He might be looking at $400 million. I know you were cooking, so I want to give you the floor here, just if you can just revisit some of that smoke. I know you're not on the Luka. I'm not either. I'm not either. And I know they just got a man from the Golden State Warriors. So I don't see them really going anywhere with that. I can't see them winning a championship, so I wouldn't put the investment in. But have the floor, couple minutes. Do your Luka thing, but that was vintage. That was vintage in the chat. So
I don't need a couple minutes. It's not a good investment. It's a bad investment. You're wasting money putting that kind of money into Luka. Listen, they had a great season. That's obvious, right? Anytime you make it to the finals, that means that you were good enough, right? Only 2 teams get there, so that does mean something, right? But this idea that Luka's going to be able to keep this up, I don't think that his strategy and the way that he plays basketball will be able to do this over the next 5, 6, 7 years. this might be the only time you get to see him in the finals. Now, is he good enough to get his team to a playoff? Yes, I do believe that. I do believe that the Mavericks will be perennial playoff contenders year in and year out, especially when you do add a Klay Thompson. Shooters are always going to shoot, so they'll be fine, right? They'll make it. But when it comes down to postseason playoff basketball, what we learned about Luka is that he is a liability. We know that now. And like I said, you don't get better over time as far as defense is concerned. The defense just doesn't get better, right? And I still have yet to see any highlight videos or anything that says Luka's been working on his footwork to get better. I haven't seen nothing. So
right.
More than likely, we still won't get the same Olay defense that we've been getting from Luka. But Luka was going to give you 28, 10, and 10. He's capable of that every night, night in, night out, because of the way he controls the game. But is that going to win you a championship? I don't believe so. And I think $400 million is ludicrous. $400 million is absolutely, utterly ludicrous.
Yeah. But I think my man's going to sign him. That's his guy.
Hey, look, he's good. Mark Cuban got out of there just in time, didn't he? Just in time.
Oh, man.
It's not my money. That's what he's saying. Not my money.
It was weird when they won the Western Conference Finals. You had some other dude up there instead of Cuban accepting the trophy.
Yeah.
Like, man,
weird.
Stage. This
wow.
Well, what you want to know? What you want to know what happened with that? I want to say it's I think it's like Adelson. I think they are. And you know the NBA is more liberal. You know that those rich owners were voting Republican. Most of them. They're the owner for the Mavericks. The ownership group. She's the husband of a late Vegas casino owner.
Yeah, the Adelson, right?
That's it, Adelson. They were basically a super PAC for Trump's reelection, and they're trying to, because Texas is a red state, as I'm sure y'all know, they're trying to get gambling legal in Texas. They're building a casino and an arena at the old Cowboys Stadium in Irving. They used to be there. They're doing that, and all that is in play. They don't want the spotlight on them. They literally said when they bought the team was like, we'll take your money, but we need you to play in the background. That's literally what they did. So you're not going to see that. See her, you're not going to see that at all. Some writers have floated out there in the finals. It's like the Adelsons feel like this. Kyrie is politically way to the left. And they was like, that's a collision. But the Dallas Fort Media is not going to, we do not pick fights like that. The only time you see a fight pick, maybe in a locker room or something like that, but they're not going to do that, especially during the championship run. Now, let stuff start turning left. Yeah, you're going to hear all those questions, but it's not New York. So, yeah, you're going to see it's some strange things going on with the Mavericks, but I just don't agree. I understand what you're saying about the money, Trey. I do. I just feel like, look, you get a Luka, and that's like around a generational type player. But I will say this, to his player comp, you're not wrong. His player comp is James Harden. I feel like he is the European James Harden. And you saw how I don't know if Luka's in the club like that. Like I've seen Harden out in the city. So I know what his get down was. Luka looks to be eating and drinking. So hopefully he gets that in control once you already cutting him a check. The Supermax is just crazy.
Wow. Shawnee, you got some final thoughts as we wrap up the show?
Yeah. Well, I guess my only thought, is not really dealing with anything what we talked about. That's why my reason I was late today, because pretty sure Trey and you too, Mr. Bennett, since y'all both be doing it. So I just came straight from the gym, straight to the
That's dedication. I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Some new stuff to do, so I'm like, oh hell, let me do this before I get on this computer.
That's all right.
So, he all talking about training. I was like, hell, let me get this thing done before I get on.
There you go. Trey, your advice is hitting home. It's hitting home. Absolutely. Yep. Trey Taylor, what you got for us, man, to wrap us up?
No, I mean, look, USA basketball, I think the Olympics are going to be really fun to watch. I look forward to watching it. I'm happy to see Steph and LeBron finally play together. That's a long time coming. But again, I would like to see the younger guys kind of take the reins on this and kind of step up and show that, American basketball is in good hands. Especially, I would like to see Tatum be the one to sort of step up. He's coming off of a championship.
Right.
You know, he's a supermax player. You know, things of that nature. I would like to see Tatum sort of take the reins and say, hey, you know, I'm going to lead the charge as for the younger guys. But I will enjoy watching LeBron. Listen, the funny part is I wasn't a really big LeBron fan when he first came out. I really wasn't. But he's grown on me. He really has. Yeah. He's grown on me. And I realized that, you know, with mortality, you know, his days are coming to an end. And I'm just going to enjoy watching him play basketball, and I'm going to enjoy it. But I'm also going to enjoy you. I always enjoy the Olympics. I think the Olympics is one of the coolest things in the world.
100%,
all the competition from all the different countries and the way they do things and the way they train. I think it's really, really cool. And I also like to see that other countries will sort of pick up certain things from what other countries do and say, oh, they do this and this is effective. We're going to take some of that and bring that back home. And then they take a little bit of what we do and they take that back to their home country. And so you have all these good things. I'm excited about the Olympics. It's always fun to me. And this is the only time I actually will watch female gymnastics. So it'll be fun.
I got you. Nah, the Olympics, I'll watch archery. It doesn't matter. The Winter Olympics, I watch the curling, Team USA versus Canada in curling. I don't know. It's just some this sports I would never watch any other time.
Bottom line, the soccer team, I don't know what they said something about Olympic soccer. I don't know how they started so early, but hell, they already lost 3-0 to France. I'm like, oh hell, they already starting off bad.
But this the men's or the women's?
Men.
Yeah, but I know they did. I know the U.S. I don't. Is this isn't the USMT team, right? This national team, because I know they fired their coach a couple weeks ago.
It was just on the bottom line because I was like, I know they're not starting no Olympics thing.
I guess they might be doing some friendlies or medleys ahead.
I think this is the AAA squad. I don't think this is the major league squad.
Okay. Well, I know the main squad. They're looking for a new coach right now because I know they fired their coach. But I'll just I always like to end out with Trey first. So I'll just give mine. On the boxing front, unfortunately, we were looking for Lomachenko and Tank Davis to fight in November. Loma pulled out, say he needs more rest and time with the family and whatnot. I just think he was just afraid of getting knocked out by Tank Davis. So now what they're looking to do now, they got an open slot because Shakur Stevenson, he's a promotional free agent. Again, boring style, all right? But I think it's the best fight to be made. So I think they're certainly looking to see if they can give Shakur that spot. The only thing is I just hope he doesn't price himself out because, again, he's not a crowd pleaser. He's not a pay-per-view guy. He's been lousy performances, at least not crowd-pleasing performances in the last two fights. So I hope that he negotiates a reasonable price. But you could very well be seeing Tank and Shakur fighting this November. And Loma, if he does decide to come back, depending on the winner, he might fight in late December or January 25. But pulled out. Everything was good. Even Top Rank, who's his promoter, they were shocked that he pulled out. But I think he's sort of handwriting on the wall, and that's just not a good style matchup for him. I think he gets knocked out within 5 rounds by Tank Davis. And so I think that's what's going on there. So, again, disappointing. But Crawford, he returns in a couple weeks. He fights in Saudi Arabia at the 154 level. So certainly I'll be hyping that up before that fight starts as well. But, certainly some good fights that are going to be coming up in the late summer and into early fall. So we'll preview those as we get closer to those dates. So with that, Trey Ferg, as always, closes out, my brother.
This is a little different. I got 3 things. Look, shout out to the WNBA All-Stars going and putting a spanking on those Olympics women and those young girls showing that the WNBA is going to be all right. I think it's going to be all right. Shout out to them.
Yeah, congrats. They got that new deal, right?
Yeah, they got $2.2 billion. And there will be no more TNT basketball this year. Just a little side note. Really quick. Shout out to all the black kids from the projects of Gen X, goddammit. Breakdancing is an Olympic sport. Just in case y'all know, goddammit. Gen X, we started that shit.
That's and the Asians are going to win it. I think the Asians are winning it. They took that over.
It's a damn Olympic sport, man.
I get it, but it's about cultural appropriation. The Asians run that stuff right now, man. So.
And look where it's at. It's a worldwide sport. Shout out to the breakdancers, man. I'm gonna watch that because now young brothers and sisters, go watch some old breakdancing videos and learn how to breakdance and get y'all ass out there and represent us. Y'all can do it. But again, man, it's Shawnee. You right on it, man. It's summertime, man. Hey, every brother should be getting in training camp. Training camp started 3 days ago? God damn it! By December, when the snow hit, you should be 20 pounds lighter. A little bit more handsomer. Other than that, man, come on, man, brothers, we here, man. We can do this shit. We gonna do this.
That's the toughest time to get in shape, Trey.
That's why you gotta get in shape now.
Season?
You gotta get in shape now before the football cold weather kick in. Then you sitting in the house. You know,
I usually wait till January.
Okay.
And that way you get the holiday season out the way, and then January to April until the weather warms up.
There you go. So you got the rest of the summer. Then you start out the new year right on track, brothers. Let's think about it. Let's galvanize, man. It's an election, man. Get in shape. Study your opponent, study your candidate or somebody that's going to be tough for us, man. We got to band together.
Oh, they about to do the yank on us.
We got to do that. Other than that, y'all going to be voting for
That had to be BMU. I don't think that was David did that.
The women go in front.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you guys once again for joining us on this Wednesday. Looking forward to, again, the Olympic opening and whatnot, so we'll definitely preview that, as well as Team USA and their exploits going forward. And again, any trades or deals or these players are sitting out, certainly we'll bring you action as we get it. But until then, have a great rest of the week. Take care. Be safe. We'll see you next time. Peace out.